The UK's immigration system is about to change dramatically on the 22nd of July 2025. For employers and overseas workers, this overhaul means new rules for who can be sponsored and under what conditions. The government is raising the minimum skill level, increasing salary thresholds, and removing over 100 jobs from the eligible list. Sponsorship for new overseas care workers will end, impacting the social care sector. A new temporary shortage list will replace the current shortage occupation list with stricter criteria. Transitional arrangements will apply for current skilled worker visa holders, but these come with deadlines and conditions. The sponsor management system will be offline for maintenance on the 21st of July 2025. Plan ahead to assign certificates of sponsorship before this date. Businesses must urgently review their sponsored workforce and future hiring plans to comply with the new rules. Failing to prepare could disrupt operations and long-term growth. The time to act is now. From the 22nd of July 2025, only graduate-level jobs, RQF Level 6, equivalent to a bachelor's degree, will be eligible for skilled worker sponsorship. Roles like retail supervisors and teaching assistants will no longer qualify. Employers must now look to the domestic workforce for these positions. The minimum salary for sponsorship rises to £41,700, with limited discounts for PhD holders and new entrants. These changes mean higher costs and fewer options for employers, especially outside London. Businesses must review budgets and recruitment strategies to see if sponsorship is still viable. The new rules create a much narrower gateway for international talent. Employers must be more selective and strategic than ever. The sponsorship route for new overseas care workers and senior care workers will close. Care providers can no longer sponsor new staff from abroad for these roles after the 22nd of July 2025. The sector must now recruit domestically despite ongoing shortages. Over 180 occupations, including many technician and support roles, will also become ineligible for sponsorship. The new temporary shortage list will offer limited exceptions, but it will be much shorter and more targeted. Some roles on this list may bypass the RQF Level 6 requirement, but dependents will not be allowed. Employers must quickly adapt to a much smaller pool of sponsorable jobs. The care sector in particular faces a major staffing challenge. Transitional rules will help current skilled worker visa holders and their employers. Those sponsored before the 22nd of July 2025 may extend their stay or switch employers under the old rules, but only if they act before the transitional period ends. Care workers already in the UK by the deadline can extend or switch sponsors until the 22nd of July 2028, provided they were employed for at least 3 months before applying. These arrangements do not apply to new overseas applicants. Timing is critical. Certificates of sponsorship must be assigned before the 21st of July 2025 system shutdown to use the old rules. Employers and employees must act quickly to avoid losing eligibility. Missing the deadline means facing the new, stricter requirements. Plan and submit applications early to protect your workforce. With the deadline approaching, businesses must act now. Audit your sponsored workforce. Identify who is at risk under the new rules. Communicate changes and options to affected employees. Submit extension applications and assign certificates of sponsorship before the 21st of July 2025. Reassess recruitment strategies. International hiring will be more limited and expensive. Invest in domestic talent pipelines, such as apprenticeships and training programs. Update HR processes and budgets to reflect higher salary thresholds and new rules. Train HR teams on the new requirements and temporary shortage list procedures. Non-compliance risks losing your sponsor license and facing penalties. Take decisive action now to protect your business and workforce.
From the 22nd of July 2025, the UK government is raising the minimum salary levels for all skilled worker, global business mobility and scale-up routes. These aren't minor tweaks, they're significant increases. The standard going rate for a skilled worker visa is now £38,700 per year, up from the previous £26,200. If you're sponsoring a new worker, this is the minimum you must pay, unless the role is on the immigration salary list or the candidate qualifies as a new entrant. Even then, reduced rates are still higher than before. For example, PhD level roles can now be sponsored at £37,500. STEM PhD roles and new entrants must be paid at least £33,400. If your offer falls short of these new levels, it won't be accepted. And here's the key detail. These new salary rules apply to all certificates of sponsorship issued on or after the 22nd of July. There are no exceptions. Even if you've been planning the hire for months, you must recheck all salary offers before assigning a COS. Now let's talk about one of the most impactful and controversial changes. Pause. Heavier. The end of overseas sponsorship for care workers and senior care workers. From the 22nd of July 2025, care homes and health providers in the UK will no longer be able to sponsor new care workers from abroad under SOC codes 6135 and 6136. Why? The government has cited widespread abuse of the system, with evidence of poor working conditions, illegal fees and exploitation in the sector. While this change aims to protect vulnerable workers, it also leaves many care providers scrambling to fill roles. So, what can still be done? You can still sponsor care workers who are already in the UK on other valid visas, but only after they've worked for you for at least 3 months. Also, if a care worker is already on a skilled worker visa in the UK before the 22nd of July, they can extend their permission to stay, provided there has been no break in their employment. But no new overseas applicants will be accepted, and no entry clearance applications will be approved for care roles. If you're an employer currently sponsoring someone in a role that's about to be removed from the list, don't panic. Pause softer. Transitional arrangements have been made. They allow some workers to remain sponsored even in roles that no longer qualify, but only if they meet very strict criteria. For this to work, you must follow the process exactly. When assigning the certificate of sponsorship, you must clearly state in the job description, transitional arrangements apply. Worker extending leave from overseas, worker's most recent COS number is insert number. After assigning the COS, you must also add a sponsor note explaining that this is a transitional case. These steps are critical. Without them, the Home Office will treat your sponsorship as non-compliant and it may be rejected outright. Up next, in the final section, I'll explore the temporary shortage list, how it works, who qualifies, and what restrictions it brings, plus your last steps before the system shuts down temporarily. Pause. The UK's immigration system is about to change dramatically in July 2025. New skilled worker visa rules will raise salary thresholds and tighten the definition of skilled jobs. The government's aim? Attract only the most specialised talent and encourage employers to invest in local skills. For UK businesses, this means rethinking recruitment, upskilling current staff and targeting only the most qualified international candidates. For overseas professionals, the message is clear. Focus on in-demand expertise and be ready to meet higher standards. The sponsorship process will become more rigorous, requiring strategic planning from both employers and applicants. The UK isn't closing its doors, but the path in is now more selective and defined. Navigating these changes is essential for anyone hoping to succeed in the new landscape. Let's see how these changes play out in real life. Aisha, a care home director in Manchester, has long relied on overseas carers. With higher salary thresholds, she now faces tough choices: raise wages, restructure, or focus on retaining staff. For her, the new rules mean tighter budgets and a need to justify every international hire. Meanwhile, Ben, a tech startup CEO in Cambridge, needs a senior AI specialist. He can meet the salary requirements, but now must prove the role is truly specialized and can't be filled locally. Ben's hiring process will involve more documentation and closer ties with UK universities to build local talent pipelines. Both Aisha and Ben must adapt by investing in their teams and making a stronger case for every overseas hire. The new system demands more planning, more evidence, and a sharper focus on long-term workforce strategy. For employers, it's about balancing immediate needs with future resilience. For skilled workers, it's about standing out in a more competitive, selective market. These stories reflect a broader shift across the UK economy. Higher skill and salary requirements will push businesses to compete harder for local talent and improve pay and conditions. Companies must now innovate, investing in automation, technology, and upskilling their workforce. The focus moves from quick fixes to building long-term capability and resilience. Employers should audit their workforce, model the impact of new rules, and seek expert advice to stay compliant. For overseas professionals, aligning your skills with UK shortages and earning recognised qualifications is crucial. Stay informed and ensure your credentials meet the new standards. The new rules reward those who plan ahead and adapt quickly. Success will come to those who see these changes as an opportunity, not just a challenge. As July 2025 approaches, proactive adaptation is key. Employers, integrate immigration into your core business strategy. Invest in domestic training and target international recruitment for only the most critical roles. Build a sustainable workforce by balancing local development with selective sponsorship. International professionals, sharpen your profile, network in the UK, and tailor your applications to high-demand sectors. Demonstrate your unique value and how you fit the UK's priorities. Embracing these changes can set you apart, whether as a forward-thinking employer or a standout candidate. The new rules are a gateway, not a barrier, for those who prepare and adapt. With the right strategy, the UK remains open to global talent and opportunity.
Let's now turn to a completely new addition to the UK's immigration framework, the Temporary Shortage List, or TSL. The TSL is designed to temporarily allow sponsorship for subgraduate roles, that's below RQF Level 6, in sectors that are currently struggling to find UK-based workers. But the conditions are stricter than usual. First, TSL roles do not qualify for salary discounts, and they do not allow visa applicants to bring dependents. So if you're sponsoring under the TSL, you'll still need to meet full salary thresholds, and sponsored workers won't be able to bring spouses or children with them. The TSL is temporary by design. It will be reviewed regularly and is expected to end by the 31st of December 2026. That gives businesses some breathing room, but not a long-term fix. Examples of roles that may appear on the list include welding technicians, lab assistants, IT support technicians, creative industry support staff, HR officers. But remember, just being lower skilled isn't enough. The job must appear on the actual TSL list, and you must justify why a UK worker can't fill the role. Now let's talk timing. The sponsor management system will go offline at 6 p.m. on the 21st of July, and it won't be available again until 9 a.m. on the 22nd of July. That's because the entire system needs to be updated to support these new rules. If you want to assign a certificate of sponsorship using the current eligibility and salary rules, you need to act before the system shuts down. Any COS issued after 6 p.m. on the 21st of July will automatically fall under the new regime, no exceptions. So here's what employers and sponsors need to do right now to stay compliant and prepared. Step 1. Review all job roles. Are they still eligible under RQF Level 6 or listed on ISL or TSL? Step 2. Audit salaries. Do all offers meet the new threshold? Step 3. Care sector sponsors. Plan for recruiting locally or transitioning existing staff. Step 4. If transitional rules apply, prepare your job descriptions carefully and include the correct COS reference numbers. Step 5. Submit any COS under current rules before 6 p.m. the 21st of July. Step 6. Start workforce planning for 2026 and beyond, especially if you rely on temporary shortage roles. There's no doubt these rule changes mark a new chapter in UK immigration. They raise the bar for skill level and salary, and they're pushing employers to focus more on domestic recruitment and long-term workforce development. But with careful planning, accurate information, and a bit of urgency this week, you can stay compliant, protect your license, and support the staff you need. If this video helped you understand the rule changes, Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more expert updates. Drop your questions in the comments, especially if you're in care, hospitality, or skilled trades, and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching, and stay compliant.